Deputy President Paul Mashatile is interacting with interfaith leaders in Boksburg. This is as part of the social cohesion and nation-building project, wanting for government to work better with interfaith leaders. Let's take you there live now.
Dumela Legai Abshe Demachero. Thank you very much. Program Director, it is an honor and privilege to welcome everybody this morning to this important engagement between government and faith-based leaders. I indeed appreciate this very much, particularly to witness the strength of interfaith unity and cooperation. We are gathered here during a month dedicated to celebrating our cultural heritage, to celebrate our cultural diversity in accordance with the democratic values of inclusivity and participation. This is also an opportunity and an opportune time for us as faith-based sector to reflect on the role we have played in protecting our religious heritage, but also contributing in shaping the moral compass of our nation. According to UNESCO, recognizing the enduring nature of religious and sacred heritage, being able to safeguard its authenticity and integrity, including its unique spiritual importance, and promoting the understanding of our shared history, are the three essential elements for fostering mutual respect and dialogue amongst our communities. In South Africa, we have seen how the prioritization of these aspirations, as guided by our Constitution, have anchored our nation and enabled strategic participation by faith-based organizations in an effort to respond to crisis moments such as at the height of COVID-19 pandemic, but also dealing with and responding to gender-based violence and femicide. Understanding the significance of religion and faith in our nation, it's important for us as interfaith leaders to come together and discuss the necessary steps to safeguard the significance of religious and sacred sites, as these sites hold immense cultural value and are crucial to ensuring that our traditions are not eroded over time. As we all know, our nation thrives in its cultural richness and religious diversity. Our different faith, beliefs, and traditions are the threads that make up the vibrant tapestry of our society. It is utmost importance, therefore, that we acknowledge, appreciate, and actively encourage the existence and representation of diverse individuals, cultures, and perspectives, not just within the confines of our own communities. We also need to work together as one in order to increase our impact on initiatives that promote social cohesion. Impact on initiatives that promote interfaith dialogue and also nation building. Additionally, we must recognize the power of education and interfaith dialogue in fostering tolerance and understanding. By working hand in hand with educational institutions and government, we can develop comprehensive educational programs that nurture respect and appreciation for religious diversity. Ladies and gentlemen, ministers of religion, as interfaith leaders, I must acknowledge that you have indeed embodied the spirit of our heritage. It is encouraging to witness the fusion of various histories, languages, cultures, religious faith in one room. This is why our country is also envied for the peaceful coexistence of various faiths by many in the world, with none claiming supremacy over the other. Most importantly, we share the same values which are consistent with the founding values of our Constitution, those of human dignity, of the achievements of equality, of non-racialism and non-sexism, and of the advancements of human rights. You exemplify what it means to unite for a common goal. And as government, we will continue to work with you to create a society that is both unified and cohesive. We must continue to strengthen and pave our path of partnership in order to promote social cohesion and contribute to our nation-building project. Our history demonstrates that despite the many challenges we face as a nation, we can and we have always emerged stronger, particularly if we embrace our diversity. Today, we enjoy the fruits of our democracy because leaders from diverse backgrounds fought together against injustices and defended our civil and religious liberties. Program Director, we can and we must always remember those who came before us. We can't forget the role played by leaders like B.S. Nodie, Desmond Tutu, Peter Story, Ellen Bosak, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., amongst many. Martin Luther King Jr. was a towering figure in the American civil rights movement, and his ideas of nonviolent resistance to oppression had a great bearing on the liberation struggle here at home. One of the things to remember about him is his seminal speech in 1968, delivered in Memphis, Tennessee, when he declared the following: "The nation is sick, trouble is in the land, confusion all round, but I know somehow that only when it is dark enough you can see the stars. And I see God working in this period of the 20th century in a way that men, in some strange way, are responding. And perhaps should I say, men and women." In our times, we have to say that we value the role that women play in our society. Program Director, it is specifically the caliber of religious leadership displayed by, amongst others, Martin Luther King Jr., that has shaped the civil rights movement and their efforts against a dark time when black men and women, children, were being brutalized just for demanding equal treatment. It is indeed also same motivation that shaped the activism of religious leaders here at home in South Africa who fought against apartheid. Reflecting on this history and also acknowledging the temporal disparities and distinct challenges of our current era, we must draw from the lessons of the past and use them as a compass for addressing some of the challenges that exist in our modern society. Your presence here today serves as evidence that you have once again heeded the call to collaborate with government with a shared objective of fostering reconciliation in our nation. And I think, Program Director, it's important that we meet in this manner because collaboration requires engagement and sometimes very robust criticism as well. So when we come here as government, we're not just coming to hear niceties. When there are challenges, when there are difficulties, when there are things that are not happening, religious leaders must speak. And that's why we are here. Amongst the many challenges confronting us as a nation is gender-based violence and femicide, but also poverty, unemployment, drug and substance abuse, child abuse, crime, corruption, teenage pregnancies, and the high rate of HIV infection amongst young people. It is disheartening that women and girls of our country no longer feel safe in their homes, don't feel safe in the streets, in public transport, and in their places of work. Many of our people are abusing alcohol, using drugs, which is causing numerous social problems, such as unsafe behavior on our roads, but also the increase in violent crimes and truancy. Despite the efforts made by government and other stakeholders to fight HIV epidemic, many of our young people are still engaging in unsafe sex, leading to high rates of teenage pregnancies and further spread of sexually transmitted diseases. These are the social ills that we believe, together with yourselves as leaders of religion, we can work together to fight. The Department of Health and its stakeholders have, particularly throughout this year, intensified campaigns and public education, especially as it pertains to the management of the virus, but also containing its spread through adherence to treatment. Program Director, it is through these kinds of programmatic intervention where faith-based community can partner with government to make tangible contribution to addressing some of these social ills in our country. Not a day goes by that we are not confronted by acts of violence and criminality. Worse yet, these acts are being live-streamed as social media turns citizens into passive bystanders in the humiliation and degradation of others. This is not the South Africa we fought for. It is not the South Africa for which many people were jailed and lost their lives. It is certainly not the South Africa we want for ourselves and future generations to live in. As a nation, we must be concerned about the deterioration of our social and moral fabric. It is therefore important that our partnership be institutionalized in order to effectively address these issues. And we're talking about this with the ministers earlier, that later we will have to talk about how we institutionalize our partnership so that we don't have meetings once and we don't see each other in 2 years. It's important that this is a journey that, as we started today, we'll continue to walk it together, institutionalize. There must be proper coordination so that we meet as often as possible. We have a lot of challenges to deal with. Let us renew our strength and apply the same resilience that we did when battling apartheid in order to construct the South Africa that our forefathers envisioned. To address these difficulties, a collaborative effort involving not only government entities, but also active participation of all segments of society, interfaith, communities, community organizations, many out there in our society need to get together so that together we can effect societal change. Now more than ever, we must join forces to counter what has grown to threaten our communities.
Well, there you have it. The Deputy President Paul Mashatile addressing interfaith leaders and, of course, raising the importance that the important role that religious and faith leaders play in the moral regeneration of our nation. Talking about how government certainly needs the religious leaders to really continue and, of course, step up the work that they do in helping our communities. Understanding, of course, the massive reach that faith and religious leaders have in the country. Talking about the many challenges that are being faced also by young people in the country, whether it be from HIV, AIDS, unemployment and other pressures, saying that the church and religious organizations have a massive role to play as well in that moral regeneration.